want to talk about the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Old Crusty is what I call him. Old Crusty Jerry Jones. Let's deal with Dallas. Jerry Jones getting away with his role in preventing the desegregation of Arkansas schools at the height of the school desegregation fight. Let's talk about this. So on September the 9th of 1957, on September the 9th of 1957, on September the 9th of 1957, Old Crusty Jerry Jones shows up to a racist terrorist act where a group of white students at North Little Rock decided that they were going to stop a group of black students from coming into their school. Jerry Jones, who was a freshman or sophomore, showed up with his juniors and seniors, goons, the junior and senior goon gang, the junior and senior pre-Ku Klux Klan group, as they decided that they were going to stop a group of black students from enrolling in North Little Rock High School. Now, Jerry Jones told 3 lies. Jerry Jones told 3 lies. Lie number 1, he said he only went there because he was curious. Lie number 2, he had no idea what was going to go down. Lie number 3, nobody there had any idea of what was going to go down. I'm going to prove that Jerry Jones is a liar. I'm going to prove that Old Crusty is a liar. And I'm going to prove it right now. I'll get to Stephen A. Smith in a minute. I'll get to Stephen A. Smith in a minute. But Jerry Jones said he only went because he was curious. He had no idea what was going to go down. And none of the white kids there knew what was going to happen. Let's prove the first lie. He didn't know what was going to go down. How do we know that's a lie? Because Jerry Jones admitted himself to the Associated Press previously that he was told by his coach, Jerry Jones and other members of the football team were warned by their coach not to go near the protest because it could get out of hand. Jerry Jones' coach told him that those white students were going to stop those black children from coming into North Little Rock, and he didn't want any of his players involved because it could get messy, it could get violent, it could get dangerous. So if Jerry Jones has already admitted that his coach told him not to go anywhere near, if his coach already told him not to go anywhere near the protest, how can he claim he had no idea what was going to go on? How can Jerry Jones, Old Crusty, how can Old Crusty claim that none of the white racists who were there didn't know what was going to go on? Let me further prove that Jerry Jones is a lie. Does anybody know what happened on September the 9th, 1957? Does anybody know what happened on September the 9th, 1957? On September the 9th, 1957, President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, President of the United States, on the same day Jerry Jones showed up to deny black children their constitutional right to an education. On the same day Jerry Jones and those racist children showed up to North Little Rock High School to deny a group of black children their right to an education, on that same day, President Dwight Eisenhower signed the 1957 Civil Rights Bill. President Eisenhower, on the same day of the Jerry Jones photo, signed the 1967 Civil Rights Bill. It was the first civil rights bill since the 1875 Post-Reconstruction Civil Rights Bill, and it gave birth to a Civil Rights Commission in the Justice Department. It gave birth to a Civil Rights Commission in the Justice Department. So not only did Jerry Jones show up to deny black children their right to learn? Jerry Jones showed up to defy the president of the United States. Jerry Jones showed up to defy the president of the United States. So I have a question for Jerry Jones. I have a question for Old Crusty. Here's my question for you, Old Crusty. I hope somebody called Jerry Jones and tell him to tune in to the leader of the Black Revolt. Will somebody call up Old Crusty and tell him to tune in to the leader of the Black Revolt? Here's my question for Old Crusty. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee in 2016, 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 Old Crusty said, any Dallas Cowboy who disrespects the flag, Old Crusty said, any Dallas Cowboy football player who disrespects the American flag by taking a knee during the protest will not be allowed to play for his football team. Old Crusty in 2016 said that Colin Kaepernick was not breaking the law, but disrespecting the customs of the country. And Jerry Jones said that he was for law and order. So I have a question for Old Crusty. If Old Crusty is for law and order, why did Old Crusty feel the need to unite with fellow race terrorists at North Little Rock to defy President Dwight Eisenhower's signing of the 1957 Civil Rights Act? If you believe in law and order, Old Crusty, if you believe in law and order, Old Crusty, if you believe in law and order, why did you show up to defy the president of the United States on the very day that he signed the historic 1957 Civil Rights Bill? If you believe in law and order, why did you show up to defy the law of the country? Jerry Jones and those racist white boys at North Little Rock showed up to defy the executive branch of the U.S. government. They showed up to defy President Dwight Eisenhower. They showed up to snub their nose at the 1957 Civil Rights Bill. Now, let me say this. It gets worse. And I'm no fan of Dwight Eisenhower, because Dwight Eisenhower ordered the execution of the first democratically elected prime minister of the Congo, Patrice Emery Lumumba. I said Dwight Eisenhower, President Dwight Eisenhower of the United States of America, ordered the execution of Patrice Lumumba, the great Pan-Africanist leader of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Do you understand me, brothers and sisters? Now, let me give you one more piece of information, and then I'm going to ask Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin some questions. Let me give one more piece of proof that Jerry Jones, Old Crusty, is a liar. And I am disappointed that the American media didn't ask him no real questions. Roger Goodell didn't have an interrogation session with him. None of his players, none of the black people of Texas demanded an accounting from Old Crusty. Scared of white power, I see we still are. Scared of white power, I see we still are. Scared of white power, I see that we still are. But guess what happened? So on the day Jerry Jones showed up to deny black children their right to get an education at North Little Rock on September the 9th, the same day the president signs the Civil Rights Bill, the same day the president signs the Civil Rights Bill, Jerry Jones shows up to deny black children their education at North Little Rock. Guess what happened 5 days prior? What happened in Little Rock, Arkansas, 5 days before Jerry Jones and those racist white boys attempted to deny those black children their right to learn? 5 days on September the 4th. September the 4th. What happened on September the 4th, 5 days before Jerry Jones's racist protests? You know what happened? The Little Rock 10. They were not the Little Rock 9 yet. On September the 4th, 1957, the Little Rock 10 showed up at Central High School in Arkansas to go to school, and Governor Forbes of Arkansas told the National Guard to deny those 10 black students entry into the school. And one black girl in particular didn't get the message that she was supposed to meet with the other black children in a particular location. And she was terrorized by those whites. She was spit on by those whites. She was beat on by those whites. She was chased by those whites. She was harassed by those whites. That was the first time the Little Rock 9, Little Rock 10, it was 10 on September the 4th. It became 9 on September the 23rd. It was 10 of them on September the 4th. It became Little Rock 9 on September the 23rd. So Jerry Jones and his racist classmates wanted to reenact what just happened 5 days ago across town at Central High School. I said Jerry Jones and his racist little squad of white boys wanted to replay at North Little Rock what just happened at Central High School in Little Rock 5 days before, when the 10 black students were denied their right to get an education, and they were bullied, threatened, attacked, and chased by white kids. But Jerry Jones didn't know what was going to happen. It already happened 5 days ago. Jerry Jones didn't know what was going to happen. It already happened 5 days ago. Jerry Jones didn't know what was going to happen. It already happened 5 days ago. Now let me ask Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin a question. Let me ask Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin a question. Let me ask Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin a question. Stephen A. Smith, you tore Kyrie Irving down. You walked it back after I got on that ass, but you still tore him down. You tore him down. Yes, you did. And according to Stephen A. Smith, because Jerry Jones was 14 years old at the time of his racist act, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith Esquire, according to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, since Jerry Jones was only 14, he's supposed to get a pass, because according to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, there's a statute on limitations for being held accountable for racism against black people. According to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, there's a statute of limitations on white people for committing acts of racism against black people. Stephen A. says since he was only 14. Stephen A. says since he was only 14. Stephen A. says since he was only 14 and it was 65 years ago, he should not be questioned. Stephen A. Smith said full immunity for Old Crusty. Stephen A. Smith Esquire said full immunity for Old Crusty. And because he was 14 and because it was 65 years ago, Stephen A. Smith says, I don't appreciate this for Jerry Jones. He hurts for Jerry Jones. Stephen A. Smith feels bad for Jerry Jones. He don't feel bad because he never hired a black coach. He don't feel bad because he never took a stand up against racism. He don't feel bad because he's not doing nothing about the state of Texas passing a law making it illegal to teach black children about slavery or racism. He don't feel bad about that. He feels bad that black people would dare hold Old Crusty responsible for his role in preventing school desegregation in the state of Arkansas. And then we have to go to Michael Irvin. Now, where this buffoon came from, and see, I was a Michael Irvin fan. I was not a Cowboys fan. I was a Michael Irvin fan. I was a Michael Irvin fan. And I don't know what it is with richly melanated black males. I don't know what it is with richly melanated black males, but the Michael Irvins, the Shaquille Uncles Sambo O'Neal, the Shannon Snow Bunny Sharps. I don't know what it is about the darkest of African men that brings out the most buffoonery. What is it about the more melanated? The more melanated we are, the more buffoonery we like to get engaged in. So let me quote Michael Irvin. Let me quote Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, who said, quote, "I know him to be a righteous man and a very good man." Michael Irvin said, "I know Jerry Jones to be a righteous man and a very good man. I know Jerry Jones to be a righteous man and a very good man." This is what Michael Irvin said. Then he said, quote, "Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days." This is Michael Irvin. Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days. Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days. So according to Michael Irvin, since most white people were racist in 67, according to Michael Irvin, since most white people were racist in 1967, Jerry Jones should get it passed. Michael Irvin, Esquire, Stephen A. Smith, Esquire. So Michael says, quote, "His face don't look like he was there for battle." Michael Irvin is now a master psychologist who can read the intent of people by their facial expressions on pictures. I said, Michael Irvin Esquire, unlicensed defense attorney for Old Crusty, can now read facial expressions and interpret their purpose. Michael Irvin says, Jerry didn't look like the guy with the cigarette dude. He said Jerry Jones didn't have the cigarette in his mouth. He didn't look like the cigarette dude. Okay? See, when black men defend racism, when black men defend racism, when black men defend racism, we got a problem, brothers and sisters. When black men defend racism, Michael Irvin Esquire, you have no business speaking for Jerry Jones. Let Jerry Jones speak for himself. Stephen A. Smith, Esquire, you have no business speaking for Jerry Jones. Let Jerry Jones speak for himself. You two Negroes are out of line. You are out of line. Just like Shaq and Charles Barkley and Candace Owens are out of line, constantly going after black people. Just like Shannon Sharp was out of line in his defense of Deion Sanders. First you get money, then you get power. That is not correct. I can tell you've been politically uneducated. I can tell you've been politically uneducated. Look at all the basketball players we got, scared to speak up. Look at all the football players we got, scared to speak up. Did you see Dak Prescott when he was asked about Jerry Jones? Did you see Dak Prescott when he was asked about Jerry Jones? Did you see Dak Prescott shivering in his boots like he was butt naked outside in the snow? Dak Prescott was so scared of saying the wrong thing about Old Crusty. Dak Prescott was so scared about saying the wrong thing about old Krusty. Dak Prescott was so scared about saying the wrong thing about old Krusty, he couldn't even answer the question.
Biracial, black and white. It's easy for me to speak on race on one side or another, and I don't always. How do I say this? Yeah, I don't know if I've fully processed it all the way, honestly. In the same sense, it's 65 years ago, and how times have changed. I mean, look at the man's resume since then, right? And I'm here for growth and giving grace and trying to make this world a better place. Unfortunate things come up from the past, pictures, and they show how far we've come, but in the same sense, they're a reminder of
wounds,
or just how short of a time that was ago.
Dak Prescott, I haven't processed. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to say nothing against, I'm biracial, so I could be on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I like you, bro. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. Don't you ever again in your life bring up your biracialism. Dak Prescott, I'm talking to you. Quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't you ever again in your life bring up the fact that you are biracial and use that as an excuse for why you can't hold a racist accountable for preventing the school desegregation so our children can get an education. Dak Prescott, you was wrong for that, bro. Dak Prescott, you was wrong. You had no business bringing up your biraciality. You had no business, Dak Prescott, bringing up your biraciality as an excuse for why you couldn't hold Jerry Jones accountable for his role in preventing school desegregation in Arkansas. Come on, Dak Prescott. Come on. I saw nothing but fear. So you Negroes who think money equal power, you really think money equal power? Really? Show me where. Show me. I'm looking for that. Show me with Oprah Winfrey. I'm looking for that. Show me with Tyler Perry. I'm looking for that. Show me with Bob Johnson. I'm looking for that. Show me with Puffy Combs. I'm looking for that. Show me where money equals power in Black America. Because every Negro we know with a lot of money has a lot of fear. Every Negro we know with big bucks is a big coward. So money don't equal power, you thirsty Negroes. And this is why they're going to use our own reparations narrative against us. This is why